Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I am Mage 1011, and today we are playing some Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail Relic questline, and afterwards we will be reading a comic, the same one I read yesterday and the day before, PMD Team Aqua Blaze. But that's for later. For now, let's get started with this Relic questline. Last time we unlocked the ability to get Atmas, Atma grind, and I had originally planned to do that off stream, but it turns out the better place to grind them requires me to progress in the quest line a bit more, which I wanted to save for on stream. So we will be doing a bit of the Atma grind along the way while we do the quest, because a 20% chance of dropping Atmas in critical engagements in the quest area versus a 5% chance in the fates in the overworld is a big difference. It's horrendous, really. I don't think I could handle the grind needed to do it on the fates. Anywho, we're gonna continue the quest for Occult Crescent. Journey to the Occult Crescent Southern Horn. If your knowledge level is above 20, it will be Saint. My knowledge level is at 0. Or 1 if 0 is not an option. How's everyone doing today? Oh, hold on, I forgot to close something, so I'm gonna mute my mic really quick. There we go. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to open my two things real quick. Scene, this and this slideshow to cover chat, and I need to open my talkie icon. I need to get in the habit of opening those. Also, currently, if you play 14 and you sub to me, or gift 3 subs, you will get a mount for your 14 account. Do be sure to take advantage of that. Occult Crescent, Southern Horn. It's currently raining here, so there it is, my Fujitech. Now, let's take a look at this little HUD we have here. If I can target it. Let's see, we have Phantom Jobs, and we have Occult Records, which we don't need to have in a heart bar anymore. We've already read through all of these. All the current ones we have. We have several phantom jobs we can choose from. This one in particular, or we will have 7 phantom jobs in particular. The one we currently have does not level up without leveling other phantom jobs, as I've found out recently. Anywho, talk to Catamaran. Also, we're gonna move this around. Up to over here. There we go. Perfectly aligned, okay. New job, old tricks. Ketamram is overseeing activities at the expedition base camp. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better location to stage an expedition than this, and to think we'd even found something akin to an aetherite. With any luck, there'll be a few more dotted around the isle to avail ourselves of. Make sure you attune with this one before leaving camp. Speaking of leaving, our advance party secured the area and brought back a few bits and bobs of interest. The archive was appraising the cache, but he soon scampered off and started poking around that heap of rubble. We'd better see what he's up to. Oh, I almost forgot. Is audio working fine? Let me check. Testing. There we go. So audio is working just fine, but I realized that my active image wasn't working right. Testing. 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 Looks like Oculus is best. Okay. Okay. Just the sound mode is Oculus. Okay, let's see what the archive is doing. Oh, we have a survey point here. Expedition Base Camp has been added to the cold records. Let's take a look at that. Nestled within the ruins of an old fortification, the encampment is an ideal location from which to stage forays into the southern horn of the isle. While the surrounding wall offers sufficient protection from nearby fiends, the focal point of the camp is a device indistinguishable from an aetherite that ought to facilitate swift travel on this island. Intriguingly, these ruins exhibit a different ethereal style to that of the Phantom Village, though when and by whom they were first built is yet to be determined. Oh, hello, Mr. Mastermind. How are you doing? I hope you're enjoying the stream. There you are. I've got something crystalline to show you. Aha, just as I thought. Because you laid eyes on the crystal, I was able to tap into my wealth of learning on the topic. This sealed knowledge business is awfully frustrating, I must say. What I handed you is a soul shard from the 5th Astral Era. Contained within is a phantasmal record of arcane arts and combat disciplines pioneered by the 12 city-states of Eld. I'm sure the method you modern combatants employ are far more refined than those of my day. Nonetheless, you might benefit from learning the old ways of waging war. Under normal circumstances, I'd find myself a soul shard and fight alongside you, but I can't access what's inside. Thwarted again by the seal that diminutive little scallywag spoke of. Given that you were summoned here especially, I dare say you'll have no trouble using it, however. Go on, try affixing it to your garb. And new job, old tricks is complete. Phantom jobs unlocked. So I asked a friend when I did this on my main character how phantom jobs worked, and I'll get into that more. The soul shard in your possession gives you access to the 3 phantom jobs: Phantom Knight, Phantom Monk, and Phantom Bard. These supplementary jobs can each be selected via the phantom job window while in the Occult Crescent. Selecting a phantom job enables the use of job-specific phantom actions. Phantom actions are displayed on the phantom action panel, from which they may be selected for execution. Much like other actions, phantom actions can be registered to the hotbar. You are currently a phantom freelancer. Select your chosen phantom job from the window to proceed with the expedition. Speak with the expedition advisor here in the base camp and Joffrey in the Phantom Village to learn more about the Occult Crescent. Okay, we are going to equip Phantom Bard. So, we have level 1 of Phantom Bard, level 1 Phantom Monk, and level 1 Phantom Knight. As you may have noticed, Phantom Freelancer has no XP bar. This is due to something I got explained to me by a friend, that being that maxing out other Phantom jobs levels up Freelancer. So, in order to gain levels in Freelancer, we need to max out other jobs. Phantom actions are special actions that are available only during the course of specific duties. Depending on the undertaken duty, you may select up to 5 phantom actions to supplement your job actions. You can freely cycle between phantom actions with the action to be executed always displayed in the center of the HUD. Left trigger plus R3 cycles phantom actions. Right trigger plus R3 execute phantom actions. Phantom actions, as well as other duty actions, may also be registered directly to your hotbar. Okay. Now we need to talk to, we're gonna talk to Captain Ram first. The archive tells me that that crystal is filled with the knowledge of ancient combat techniques. Might come in handy on your excursions. The ancient arts of war. The archive insists you affix the soul shard to your person. Excellent. It would seem you've managed to interface with the soul shard. There is one caveat. I believe it will only work within the confines of the Isle's wards. Nonetheless, as you accumulate more knowledge, you'll soon be able to draw on more potent techniques. What's more, I don't think that's the only soul shard on the Isle. I'm positive you can acquire others on your travels. The more you possess, the greater the array of ancient techniques you will have at your fingertips. Well, I shan't keep you from your excursions any longer, though you'd better speak to that imposing lass over there before you depart. So, for our first phantom action, we have Offensive Aria. What does Phantom Aria do? Phantom Aria, or Offensive Aria, increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 1%. Not much, but it's spammable. Like so. It also, if we go over to the striking dummies, is an attack. Or at least I thought it was. Maybe that's later on. Okay. Imposing looking lass. Ffxiv. These walls have seen better days, but they're solid enough. As long as we secure the entrance, the camp will be safe while you're out roaming the Isle. Roman's all well and good, but we need a firm plan of action if we're to make any headway. Before you leave, let's consider our approach. Phantom Drops has been added to the occult records. Phantom Drops. During the course of the expedition, the archive uncovered crystalline objects containing the distilled knowledge of ancient martial methods. Known as soul shards, these fragments allow the bearer to wield an array of long-forgotten techniques. According to the scholar turned Tonberry, the crystals will cease to function upon leaving the occult crescent, thus limiting their efficiency to the Isle. Nonetheless, they should prove a boon when dealing with its more combative fauna. Okay, let's talk to the archive. In my prime, I could wield all manner of deadly weapons and dread magics. Fey on that irksome seal. Fey on that irksome seal? I don't know what that word means. Creatures of the Crescent. Keterim has devised a plan for the pending expedition. Seems to me the more we learn about this isle, the farther we get from unraveling its secrets. There's a voice only you can hear. The Isle-wide ward, the seal on the archive's knowledge, that very familiar and her master, not to mention that finding a settlement on such a remote isle is passing strange to begin with. But before we get to satisfying our curiosity, we have more pressing concerns around to address. Safety. Me crew are peerless. Yourself included, but I've seen negligence and lack of preparation lay low the finest explorers, which is why I intend to thoroughly appraise the threats lurking beyond these walls. As a resident freelancer extraordinaire, I want you to fell 3 different species of fiend, and share your findings from each encounter. At the very least, it'll be an opportunity to test that crystal of yours. Provide me with any information you gather. The more you see and share, the more we chip away at that blasted seal. Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, this Bard ability is also a Now I'm pretty sure I can switch to my Marauder, my warrior, who is okay, it doesn't meet the right level requirements as it's level 99. Okay. So I have to be level 100 to do this. Okay. We're gonna switch to Mage. Activate that, and that 1% damage boost is gonna be worth its weight in gold. Give myself a couple for cures. This is why I switched to Mage. We can also mount up while here. And as you see, we are currently level 1 of, I don't know how many levels there are in this area. Want to stick behind creatures until we're ready to fight them. Pull this thing over here so that other one does not. Myself a couple Vercures. that's 2 of the 3 beasts we need to fell, and the last one is up here. Let myself regenerate really quick. No, I don't want to teleport. That's 3 of the creatures we need. Quest objective complete. Time to return. Use the return. As return has a very short cooldown while in Crescent, which is nice. Let's talk to Ketenram first. Looks like the local beasties didn't give you too much grief. No surprise there. Dispatch those fiends and share your findings. That you might partake of my useless wisdom, unsealed wisdom. Notes on Crescent Garula. Notes on Crescent Flying Lizard. And notes on Crescent Brandersnatches. You encountered a whole horde of Garula. It's rare indeed to see such notoriously territorial creatures banded together. Perhaps it's a regional adaptation. Let's see. You also vanquished a flying lizard and a bandersnatch. The former are known for their treetop nests, and the latter are often found prowling mountainous regions in search of prey. I'm no naturalist, but they don't sound like species you'd normally find on a island such as this. I suppose someone could have transported them here, but why go to all the trouble? I can answer that, or at least I could, were it not for that vexing seal. In other words, we'll be relying on Wolfmage to document what he finds on his travels. Honestly, I'm starting to think Iris wasn't far off the mark about ye. Roam far and wide, Wolfmage. Help me unseal my vast reserves of knowledge, and thus prove this lumbering clod wrong. With the local fauna surveyed, I suggest we now seek signs of former habitation. There are plenty of structures besides the settlement you found me in. To start, I want you to visit the ruins visible due south of the encampment and examine their architectural motifs. I look forward to hearing your account. And we gain level 2 for our okay, I'm going to be mainly focusing on avoiding enemies and trying to map out the region for the most part today. Also grabbing any notes I see. So I need to head due south. If I remember right, there should be a note, because I was using a guide on my main character to find everything I needed. There we go. Lost Citadel has been added to the records. Lost Citadel. This rough haven's hewn stone fortress looks to have stood for centuries past its abandonment by the original occupants. Though its vaulted corridors now echo with the relentless prowling of more monstrous denizens. Architecturally, the rum-bound motifs and carnivorous citadel dome, carvinous citadel dome bear a striking similarity to the Amdapori ruins discovered in the Twelveswood. The presence of multiple stone guardians also implies some relation to the ancient Amdapor. Now to try and get to that teleporter over here, so I don't have to walk anymore. And off stream, I will be grinding some Atmas for the Relic weapon. But for now, we're going to be doing story and stuff on the Occult Crescent. Ooh, chest. Magic prism, ribbons. And with this Aethernet discovered, looks like I forgot to attuned to the Southhorn Aetheryte. There we go. Base camp Aetheryte attuned. A ruined land. The Archivist is keen to hear your description of the southern ruins. What did the ruins divulge? Don't spare a single detail. Ho ho! My noggin's awash with unlocked knowledge. The structure you explored sounds to me like an Endipor keep. The mages of Endipor are famed for having developed white magic. Its focus on restorative and purifying arts, it was in the depths of such bastions that they honed their arcane craft. But ancient Endipor was located in the present-day Twelveswood. I've never heard tell of their people striking out this far into the Indigo Deep. A keep of that size must have required a sizable workforce. I wonder where all the stone was secured from. The Endipori were renowned for their use of life-imbued statues in construction and defense. I dare say the structure you surveyed was built by such stone familiars. I sense I know a great deal more, but alas, the seal prevents me from expounding further. Might you revisit the ruins and retrieve a sample of stone work, preferably something imbued with ether? In the heart of the keep, there ought to be a ceremonial chamber where they would have brought their creations to life. A magic chunk of monastery from such a place would surely suffice. Okay, and we're heading back to those ruins. Though it looks like the teleport is not actually closer this time. Try to avoid as many enemies as possible. Looks like the way in is over here. He is facing that way. No, he's facing that way, okay. Okay, that was a terrible idea. Looks like I need to grind more. So given that I'm going to be grinding, I'm gonna switch over to reading for now. and end the part where we do it. Because I don't want to grind on stream, I'm gonna switch over to reading for now. So, we'll BRB real quick, and we'll do a bit of reading of a comic.